Hello, and for this video I want to talk about classical conditioning. Let's start from here. So one day I was eating a bag of chips, and then all of my cats, you can see all three of them, just ran towards me at the first sound of opening that bag. So here is my dilemma. I definitely love my cat, and I also love chips, of course. And so now I'm wondering how to eat chips without being disturbed. Well, I think that's a question that classical conditioning can help me answer. Well, this is Pavarotti. There are two paths in my life that is quite important. One is Pavlov, one is Pavarotti. And this is how I remember. My brain is very, very creative. So with classical conditioning, you can see the trail here, all of my three cats. And the first, they exhibit unconditioned response to unconditioned stimulus. Like when they hear me pick up the cat treats, they will immediately run towards the treats. And this is a unconditioned response to an unconditioned stimulus. And now they kind of associate with the sound with treats. So now whenever I kind of rattle the treat box, they would also run towards it. So this is the conditioned response to a conditioned stimulus, which might explain the dilemma I am facing. That is, the sound of chips kind of sounds similar to the sound of the treat box. And so this process kind of, and then triggers them running towards the chips, of course. And this process is called stimulus generalization. They didn't differentiate between the sound of chips and the sound of the treat box. And hence they have the same response, that is running towards the chips. But what about tennis balls? Here is a lot of tennis balls. That makes this dog very happy. But the sound of tennis balls didn't trigger my cats to run towards the balls. And this is called stimulus discrimination, because the sound of tennis balls is very different from the sound of treat box or a bag of chips. And let's dig a bit further. So with unconditioned stimulus and conditioned stimulus, the box of treats and the sound of rattling the treat box, they happen close together in time. This is called continuity. And this is how I remember it. They happen close in time. I pick up the box, I shake it, the rattling sound happens, my cats run. And when the conditioned stimulus, which is the sound of the treat box, reliably predicts the unconditioned stimulus, that is the cat treats. And this is what we call contingency. Remember, it is when the conditioned stimulus reliably is a key word here, predicts the unconditioned stimulus, that's called contingency. And what about the whole process of the cats associate the unconditioned response stimulus with conditioned stimulus? This process is called acquisition. That is, the cat has learned that the sound reliably predicts treats. And acquisition could be reversed by extinction. Extinction means we remove the conditioned stimulus which makes the conditioned stimulus no longer predicts the unconditioned stimulus, and the cat will no longer run towards me when there is a rattling sound. And this extinction is the answer to how to eat chips without being disturbed. But do I really want to do that? I'm not too sure. After learning about classical conditioning, I think sharing is caring. Food tastes better when shared with family. And I spoil them because I love them. All right, that's classical conditioning for today's video. If you have any feedback or comments, please leave me a comment below and I'll happily reply or address any of the questions or concerns.